panel. Look at this panel for this Thursday night chat. What is going on, everyone? I'm Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics. This is another Thursday night chat. We're going to be hanging out talking comic books, talking a lot of things. Before we do that, though, let's hit that intro. We have lots of awesome people with us tonight. Comic Viking, what's going on, sir?
Hey, not much, man. How are you doing?
Dude, I am doing well. I appreciate you joining us. Comic Man Andy, have you gotten any sleep at all this week, sir?
None.
I didn't think so. Legion of Comics is here, even though his avatar is showing instead of his camera. What's up, Mark?
Yeah.
Panda
All right.
OnlyFans.
Panda, what is going on, sir? We need to hang out. What are you doing this weekend? Let's hang out.
Okay.
Tell them to subscribe to your OnlyFans first.
That sounds sexual.
We'll meet up in Sliner or something. I don't know. Let's talk about it, though.
Meet him up on Grindr.
We'll need to hang out. Dave, what's going on, sir? Sweet Golden Age unboxing today.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Good
Thanks for
stuff.
having me on.
Absolutely. And Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics. What is going on, sir? How are you?
Dude, I'm excited to be here with Comic Man Andy. I haven't seen him since last C2E2. That's sad. No, that's not true. You came on after that. You came on in the spring onto the old show. So now we'll just have to get you on to the new show.
I haven't been on a stream of Andy in like over a year. So
the show which would not be spoken of. Thank you, Mark.
And hi to everyone in the chat. What's going on? Appreciate everyone for stopping in and hanging out. We're going to have a good show tonight. Talking about what books we got this week. Talking some C2E2 stuff. Andy's going to inform us on some stuff that we don't know about, which I'm excited to hear. I have been watching and listening to his shows all week. He was on Thoro, Keep It Thoro Comics. He was on his own show the other night, had his own show going on with some people that were there. I'm not going to highlight Panda's comment. Joe, what's up? Oh, shoot, Tom. What's going on, MSG? Berto, what's up? Trying to get through all of this pretty quickly here. Drew, what's going on, sir? How are you? Missed you at the con in KC a couple weeks ago. Austin, what's up, sir? Oh, dude, I need to show that. Actually, that reminds me. So, for people that don't know, Austin LeMay on a Pint is hooking us up with some art. I did pay for it, but he's getting us some beautiful art for this month's Burke Box. I want to show it really quickly. You guys have seen the Burke Box sponsored by the 616. Like almost 800 people saw it on Instagram, which is awesome. But we have some art that was not included in the video. And this art is, again, by our man, Austin LeMay. Look at that.
Ooh.
So we were trying to come up with like what to put in the box in terms of art. We wanted something like relevant that people were talking about instead of just something like random like Spider-Man, which was my suggestion at first. And then I was thinking and I messaged him, I'm like, dude, how about a Predator? Since the movie Prey just came out, which was really, really good. I wouldn't say it's great, but it was a very good and entertaining movie. And he said, awesome. And he cooked this up in just a couple days. So
To Catch a Predator.
What do you guys think about this?
You're gonna scare the living crap out of your subscribers, man. That thing's realistic.
Does it have a restraining order to stay away from schoolyards?
You should put an acetate to this and
With a
have
news anchor.
the helmet be over the top.
Dude, a helmet acetate over the top would be sick.
Hey,
That would
hey,
be sick.
say what you want about child offenders. At least they slow down in school zones.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that reminds me.
Damn, Andy.
I have been informed that tonight's stream is TVMA.
What the hell?
Oh shoot!
God,
Views
why did
expressed
that
during this program are not necessarily those of Burke.
right, right,
I was gonna
absolutely.
say, Burke,
I want to
switch
put that
me
out
and
there.
switch me and Mark. I've got more headspace than he does.
Oh, you bet you do,
There
buddy.
you
There we go. There we go. Okay. This is the part of the show we're going to show off what books we got this week, and then we'll get into everything else. As everyone knows, I have to order my books from my long distance comic shop, the Best Book Exchange. I only got 2 books this week: the Green Lantern Dark Crisis book, and then Power Rangers 22. That's all I felt like getting this week. As everyone knows, I'm trying to cut down on my pull list for the year so I can get some bigger books like I just got. So that's all I have ordered for the week. Alan, you got some books to show off? No. Okay. All right. Andy?
Ooh, do I ever? Just coming back from C2E2, you guys think I'd have a trainload of books, but you want to know the only thing that mattered this week? Let me rephrase that. Like the best thing out of this group is I
Please
got a
show a
package.
UF4 acetate. Please show a UF4 acetate.
There's an acetate here, but not the one you talked about.
Ooh.
I know.
All that.
Oh,
So
Congrats.
first
Congrats.
day back, this arrives in the mail, and this is part of BKV's Substack. The first original group of founders got a signed copy of the script. They
And
got a original art print by Nico, sorry. Nico did, and this is Mothmata, or
Mon Mothma.
thank you.
and
Oh, you already know, Panda? You were part of this?
I was there when you did all this.
I saw it. Yeah.
A signed copy of
Yeah.
Saga #1.
Nice.
This was a
Another
surprise. They did not announce that this was going to be in there. They did not announce this was going to be in there. This was a surprise that they added, and I am over the moon because I don't have a signed copy of Saga. This is definitely going to get pressed out and then sent to CBCS for verification. I'm over the moon about that.
Dude, congrats. I've been
Nice.
watching your videos for the longest time. I remember when you were at 100 subscribers and talking about Saga. So big congrats to you, sir.
Dude, thank you.
Congrats, dude. Congrats.
This is so epic, and it's ready to read, man.
You know, I never heard of Saga until I watched your videos, Andy. Serious.
I didn't know there were that many variants until he came on our show.
right?
Everybody stopped watching my top 50 videos because there's 25 of them were all Saga variants.
Oh shoot! Nice. Is that it?
Wait, Andy, did you ever get your one from India? Did that ever
Yes.
get graded?
That did come back as an 8.5, and that's the highest copy I found.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Boom. Boom.
It's here somewhere. It's hanging up somewhere. You should see. It is nasty down here. It is everything got back in the car and then just put everything downstairs, and I still haven't finished unpacking, which is why I don't have any of the other books besides just a regular old new comic book day. Oh my god, that's a lot.
Let's
This
see
is
what you got.
This
Hey, we
is
got-
2 weeks.
We
do
got
you
a-
have Star? Do you get Star Hinge?
Thank you so much to Two Brothers Comics for supporting the channel with the $19.99 super chat. That is what's up. I need to figure out I need to add something in here for every time someone does a super chat.
Are you going to read the super chat? They just gave you $20.
Yeah, anyway.
Hide the nipples. They were backstage before the whole thing. I put the link into the Work Fam chats, and they jumped in here for a second, and I was showing off the guns, and something happened where my chest showed. So thank you so much for the
Yeah,
1999 super
something
chat.
for sure.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Mark?
I said something happened for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
You want to
What
show
up,
up
B?
through those books, Andy?
What's up?
You want to run through those books?
I mean, it's 2 weeks because I didn't pick up before C2E2 because I was kind of feeling kind of lazy as we were packing to leave. Walking Dead Deluxe still reading. Time Before Time is almost to an end here. That's been kind of fun. Stillwater, I think, is coming to a close here soon. Star Wars Halcyon Legacy. I always pick up all the variants for that. And Once in Future 28, they have announced that issue 30 is going to be the last issue. Little Monsters has actually been great. One of my favorite creative team pair-ups there. And randomly, somehow, Berserker 9. Maybe this didn't arrive, or...
Is that still good? Because I only read the first 3 or 4 issues.
I enjoy it, but the problem is this was slated to be a 6-issue miniseries, and they stretched it to 12. So you can tell it's stretched out. You can feel the pacing. You can tell that they stretched it out. This is a second print, so they re-released it. Basculus 10. Han Solo and Chewbacca has been fun, and I think this is getting a little underprint. Not a lot of people paying attention to this, so I've been keeping an eye on a lot of the variants, and by keeping an eye on a lot of the variants, talking about Dustin and I talking about Ahsoka, or Nick and I talking about Ahsoka. This Ahsoka cover was not really looked at a whole lot. Not a lot of people talking about it. Really good cover by. Like, I'm gonna grade a couple of these things and hold on to them for the Ahsoka show coming out. And I almost brought one of these to get signed by Rosario Dawson, but we took a print. We took a metal print. Yeah, Bounty Hunters was out. Like I said, this was 2 weeks worth of pickups, and you guys know me. I'm pretty much buying every Star Wars cover that comes out.
Yep.
And of course, Predator.
I heard it was okay.
And then What's in Future ratio, and then the Han Solo and Chewbacca ratio. Oh, this is actually, I think, the first cover appearance of this character here, if I remember correctly.
I really do appreciate you picking up the slack for me, Andy, since I cut back and I'm no longer picking up every single Star Wars cover. So I'm glad that somebody's picking up the slack and still hauling it for us.
This is an easy 2 weeks.
I know. That's why I said I had to make a decision.
Normally, when I watch your new Comic Book Day live videos, like that's usually just 1 week right there.
Yeah. It's gotten pretty bad. I got to cut back. I really do.
Mark, you want to show off what books you got this week?
I'll show off a couple of them, just a couple of less known ones. Liam Sharp Starhenge issue 2 came out. That first one was phenomenal, easily like the read of the month for me with that first issue. I'm excited to see where this goes. I got both of the Sharp covers for that. And then Love Everlasting, which was a Substack first comic from Tom King. Went ahead and got issue 1 of that dropped for that awesome Clayman cover. And then a lot of the rest of the stuff is just same old, same old.
If you always want to see his haul, he does a Tuesday live, and also he just posted. He posted on his Instagram on Tuesday, and he posted the rest of the books he got today also on his Instagram. So, what is that?
Just a bunch of deceased.
Oh yeah,
Some of what you're talking about.
Cornerback.
Ooh, black bag cover. You got that acetate?
Yeah, I got the acetate and then gave it away on my live. I did an acetate giveaway, an approved acetate giveaway on the live show last Tuesday with the Kale New and then the Batman 125.
There it is. There it is. Nice. Panda, you're next. You got any books this week?
No.
Okay. Dave.
I
Dave,
didn't
you
have
got any
time.
books?
Yeah, I got a few books.
Let's see what you got.
I can show off some of the books I got from the flea market. I haven't yet made the video on, but I'll show a few of those. That was going to be in dedication towards your $20 shout out tag, whatever you want to call it, for the for that.
Oh, the $20 comic challenge.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, I went to the flea market over the weekend. I'll have to make the video tonight or tomorrow. But I'll show a few of the books from there, and I'll pull off some of the Golden Age slabs I just unboxed, too, so you guys can check that out if you haven't seen already. So I got Spider-Girl, issue number 54. Speaking of guns, here you go. It's a cool gun cover, and it's a Christmas cover. I do like collecting holiday covers, so these are always cool to find. Gotta have one of these. First time I ever found one in the wild.
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Pro.
Super Pro number 1. Oh yeah. So that was cool. We spoke about Predator. We got the companion. Aliens number 1. First printing.
Hey.
Nice.
So that was a cool find. What is this? Secret Avengers, issue number 19. Little spec book, found that in the bin. Dakota North Investigations, issue number 1. And a really cool Galactus cover. This is Hercules, issue number 4 from the Prince of Power run.
Nice.
So that's just a few of the books I got from the flea market. I'll show off some of the slabs that I got. So this is a really cool cover. Historically, a pretty important book. This is This Tomorrow? No Number. This is America Under Communism. Basically, it talks about the 10 Commandments to prevent communism. Well, there you go. Really
Oh,
cool
wow.
book.
Oh, there's the
Fight communism with the 10 Commandments of Citizenship.
there's a QR code back there.
And yep, the new slabs. You got your QR code there.
Nice.
This
What does
came
that
out
say?
at-
Yeah, they got the red stripe up top.
and 3.0.
Where does the QR code take you?
Graders notes.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
it's just the new graders notes that they added onto the labels.
After they took notes off of labels, they had to do something. They had to do something to deal with the backlash. They said, "Oh, hey, this other company had a good idea."
Talked about how I do like to collect holiday covers, so I ended up getting this graded. This
Oh,
is
there
first
you
appearance
go.
of Frosty the Snowman in comics. This is Del 4 color,
Solid.
issue number 359 and a 5.5. It's a pretty solid grade for this book.
Yeah, congrats.
And let's see.
For the kids playing at home, Del 4 color is where it's at.
This was a really cool book. I was just happy to, get
Oh.
slabbed and preserved because this is a really scarce book to find in the wild. This is Punch Comics issue number 13. Classic graveyard cover. Classic skeleton cover. Just a beauty. But it is a 0.5, but that's fine with me because this is, like I said, really difficult book to get. And Punch Comics 12 is obviously the hot book of the series. Super scarce, really nice skull cover. And I'll show off one more.
All right.
Nice little electrocution cover. This is Out of the Night, issue number 11 out of 2.5. Another really
Nice.
cool free code cover. So yeah, just a few of the covers I showed off.
If you guys want to see the rest of those books, because there was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
He uploaded today, Mark Spector Comics. Go check it out. Awesome video. I watched it or listened to it. I listened to it on my way to work today. House of L Comics, what is going on? How are you doing? Rob, you got any books you want to show off real quick?
Yeah.
All right.
First, I'll go ahead and second Scott's thing. Everybody, I lied to you. Del 4 color sucks. Don't buy them. Leave them all for us.
Leave them all for you guys. Okay.
Yeah. So I got some books in that these aren't the new days. So this is going to go up on Sunday on Nick's garage sale. There's a Flash 170, and obviously it's got some issue, but some of these books, first Silver Age Solomon Grundy, Showcase
Nice.
55, low grade, but they're cheap. They're going to be cheap, right? Some GI Combat, Origin of the Haunted Tank. These are actually higher mid grade. There's two of those.
Oh, gimme.
There's a Showcase presents Easy Company or retelling the origin of Sergeant Rock. First appearance of the second Black Canary. First appearance of the Unknown Soldier.
Love reading that with a kid.
And reprint of Star Wars. This is the original reprint, which actually has some value to it. So those will go up at Nick's garage sale. Had a couple things I picked up for myself this week. A Batman, 168, 201.
Mylar Magic.
Yeah, it really is. These are like all 354s range.
They look great.
204. I know.
That Mylar magic.
Yep.
For sure.
Can't complain, right?
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I got that hadn't been shown yet this week, one of them did today on Instagram, was this Out of This World, this Bruce Timm cover.
Ooh.
This is going off. This is getting cracked out, going to Bruce Timm signing next month. It's a private signing, so it's not a CGC or CBCS one, but the facilitator that's doing it does CGC. So there's that one, and then this one just came today. It's also going to go along with it. So,
That's fire.
Nice.
'cause I already have the Harley Quinn books I need signed by him, and in fact, those ones are going off to the Paul Dini signing at CGC next month. So that way, since that's supposedly going to be his last signing, so I can have those early Harley Quinn books double signed by the co-creators. So these are going off for Bruce Timm.
Boom.
That's that.
Nice. Awesome books, everyone. Awesome books. Comic Man Andy said he only had like 30 to 60 minutes. So I'm not trying to like jump from one thing to the next, but I did want to make sure we gave Andy some time to talk about some stuff that what happened this past weekend. And
What about Mark? Did Mark pick anything up?
Yeah, he did.
Mark
he
went.
showed it up already. I moved him. I went through the order on the bottom of my screen.
If you only have 30 minutes, I don't know why we're showing off books. We should start with Andy.
I'm
Run it.
stalling.
I was just trying to go through the regular.
No, we already talked about. We already did
You know
the
what I'm saying?
communism talk. We're done
He
with
said
communism
30 to
now.
60 minutes. 30 to 60. Okay.
Well, at this point, you're 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, I don't know how long he has, So, Andy,
No, Scott,
I don't want
definitely
to
not.
say too much about it, and I'll just let you say what you think.
Scott's a
No, it definitely has to be an open conversation with questions from everybody, because it's like I don't have answers, but I was there at C2E2, which was a blast. I love that convention.
I have a question. What's your favorite color?
Camo.
Nice.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Is pineapple acceptable on pizza?
No.
I agree. No,
Keep going. We only have him here for potentially 10 minutes. Let's get these
no,
out.
I want to. What was your
Shit about
What
this is
beard
a
oil
legit-
do you
Get
use?
to know Andy.
This is a legit question. What was your best or favorite pickup from this past weekend at C2E2?
Easily has to be the Rosario Dawson signing. Because Beth, the Chalk Girl, we had her live on the Whatnot main stage for her first time ever and my first time ever, and she live sketched a Dr. Aphra cover on #1 first solo series for Dr. Aphra.
It was gorgeous.
Beth had did a phenomenal Rosario Dawson Ahsoka piece on like an 8-foot by 10-foot or 12-foot. I'm embellishing. Trust me, I'm embellishing a little bit. This is a giant canvas, all done by chalk. So we bought a metal version of that 11 by 17 to bring to the Rosario Dawson signing. And like you guys had said, my poor wife cosplayed all Saturday as Ahsoka, and her boots were a little tight, so her feet kind of cut a little bit, and she got a blister. So we're beelining first thing in the morning. I was panicking that people I have really bad anxiety, and I'm panicking that there's already gonna be 20-30 people in line there for the Rosario thing, and it's gonna end up being an all-day thing. And she's pissed off. She's still like in the middle of the floor, and I'm already there, and I'm like, where the hell is she going? Now I'm getting pissed off because she's not there yet. I'm like, what the hell? And that was kind of funny. But we get there, we're at the front of the line. They weave in 2 VIPs, they weave in a couple of people from the main line, 2 VIPs. That's kind of how they do it to reward. Actually, people that are paying for those VIP badges is really expensive. This is kind of one of the perks they get. So they kind of weave the VIP and the main line together piece by piece. And so I think Sarah and I ended up being like 5th or 6th kind of in line. And we were there. We were the only freaking humans there. I was so embarrassed. Check my IG, the picture's up. But we get there, we set the print down, and she goes to sign it. And this brand new oil paint pen doesn't stick. It like congeals on itself.
Because you said it's on metal, right?
Yeah, and the thing I was reading online suggested oil-based paint pens for metal prints. Well, it didn't work. And the handler's like, at this point, she's done 400 signings for a charity auction. She's in auto mode. She's already hitting her rhythm, hitting her stride, and her handler stops her. He's like, hold on, that's not working. He's searching. He grabs the corresponding color of a different pen. He's like, here, try this. And he points her in the direction, because obviously this handler knew what I was going for. He had her sign in the area that I originally wanted her to sign before she just kind of went to town on it. And like a godforsaken ninja from in heaven, bless her heart, my wife takes her phone with the video of Beth doing the actual like physical chalk painting work, and then just sets it on the table right there. Like a ninja from heaven, just sets it right on the table there. And Rosario sees it and grabs it, and she's like, oh my God, this is all done in chalk? And we're like, yeah. And then we talk about Beth, and I'm like, this is, her print. And here's 2 extra copies of the print. Beth wanted to gift these to you on the table. And she's like, hun, come here, check this out. She's got the phone on, and they watch like the better part of the clip. And I'm like, oh my God, this is dope. This is a much better kind of reception to this scenario than I thought it would be. So she re-signed it. The handler's like talk to the artist. The artist can take care of this with the right appropriate alcohol and clean off the middle, and you'll have just the other signature on the end. So she's like calling. She said, "Hey, hon." So I don't know what her, partner status or whatever, but somebody came over and started checking that out, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And then she's like, "Well, wait." And she's like, "Oh yeah, there's her contact information on the print right there." She's like, "Okay, thank you so much." And at this point, I'm kind of backpedaling to make room for my wife to get her signing done, because I realized there's hundreds of people behind us too. But it was by far like the coolest experience at C2E2. We never do celebrity signings because we see how long and grueling the lines are. We sat in it this time. They put you in a white box kind of maze away from where anybody can see the line. Like, it's hot, it's kind of crappy, and I guess in the end it was really worth it. That's probably one of the coolest pickups. And then we only bought a couple of things, and you guys already know one of them. But the other really freaking cool thing is I got to spend more time with Aaron Bartling at C2E2, and Frosty Mug Comics did a phenomenal metal cover of Little Red Ronin from Source Point Press. Garrett Gunn writing on that, and we got 2 copies from Frosty Mug, our bro there. We bought 2 of those medals. We got Garrett Gunn to sign both of them with my favorite, his new signature, because it's Garrett Gunn, says "Bang." So dope, so cool. So Garrett Gunn signed them. We dropped them off at Aaron Bartling, and like, hey, we would like to do remarks with you. He's like, I'm pretty slammed. They're like, I if they got to go home with you, we'll figure it out. I don't mind. Like, take care of the people here at the convention. And I don't have a picture handy, but that Little Red Ronin metal variant turned out absolutely phenomenal. It's limited to only 50 copies.
Dang.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I was literally messaging Aaron Bartling this week because I'm sending him my TMNT Last Ronin number 5 that he did. I've been talking to him about sending mine to him to get it remarked at CGC. He's been having some issues with CGC, so I'm not sure it'll go to CGC, but I definitely still want the remark and the signature. So I've been messaging him quite a bit, and he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. When I met him at Planet Comic Con, like, I went over to his booth several times just to chit chat. Like, seriously, one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah, he really did. He also set a pair of his underwear on Aaron Bartling's table so he could take it home. He loved this dude so much.
No.
Yes,
He
he took it off
step
right
too
in front of
far.
him and laid a pair of his underwear
always
in
takes
front
it
of
too
him
far.
and said,
Burke,
I love you, Aaron Bartling.
you have to gift him a sleeveless Burke family shirt.
I should.
Aaron and Hannah. Aaron and Hannah are 2 fantastic human beings that should never be passed over at any convention. Always stop. His remarks are art within art that jump off the godforsaken pages.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, so it sounds like that was an awesome experience. And was that the only? Were there any other awesome experiences outside of that? Because I know obviously there were some stressful moments.
Was there a big party at the bar again?
Yes, we did go to Fat Poor for dinner that Friday, and it was epic. And the same thing, they didn't organize catered food, but they organized at least like a triple table where everybody got to sit at. We posted some pictures on Instagram, had fun, got to spend time with Bueller, got to spend time with Biggie Shaq, JP.
Yes.
You name
I
it.
want to meet Biggie Shaq in person so bad.
Papa Runk was there. Justin No Good Comics was there. My wife was there. Justin's girlfriend was there. All the way down to Paul Dunn was no. Oh wait, yeah, Paul Dunn was definitely
Yes,
there.
he was.
Yeah, he never missed a thing.
On a popsicle stick.
There's pictures of proof. There's proof.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you know what, Andy? I was actually on your Whatnot live when Zuni and Mama came by, and they were dressed as Boom Mike Skeff and Comic Man Andy.
And you had a
I
solo
thought that
was
behind
amazing.
you during it as well.
Zuni nailed the Comic Man Andy cosplay. I was like, hot damn.
All he did was just put on a backwards hat. It was just like, I'm Andy.
And then he went out and bought a blue comb and had the blue comb in his beard.
Oh,
He
that was
grew his
good.
beard out, and then he put on the exact same. You guys know I wear the same damn shirt for everything. I've got like 12 of these things now.
I was on your live on Whatnot when you're doing the giveaway.
It's the same one.
Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, okay,
one.
yeah. So I was on there, and I'll tell you what, I don't know if there's a better hype man to try to sell books than you. Like, you're going like crazy, getting people pumped and excited. And I was watching, I was getting excited, and then right before the giveaway, my phone died.
No, was that Saturday?
It did. I
It
was
was
so
when she was
mad.
doing the live Afro drawing.
Okay, so Friday. So that was interesting. And we'll lead off with kind of that Friday. So quite some time ago, I kind of contacted Whatnot and had an idea. Now, Beth and I have done a live sketch cover on my Whatnot feed from my house and her house and kind of co-hosted. And I'm like, Beth, I think this is a great opportunity to actually kind of do a live sketch cover at the con. And I think this would be phenomenal because she doesn't have to have a booth. We could schedule a time. And so I planted it in the appropriate years. And I'm like, this is kind of what we'd like to do. You guys know con schedules are absolutely insane. And the time slots, like a year and a half ago at a convention with Whatnot, it was, I'm not saying it was the Wild Wild West, but I'm saying it was like they didn't have a lot of streamers on the comic arm. This comic arm for Whatnot's only a year and a half old-ish. Maybe a touch older, give or take a few months. So like when you showed up to C2E2 last year, they're like, hey, all right, here's a piece of paper. Here are our open slots. What would you like, kind of thing. Now, like this was all like structured and kind of figured out. Like you had to call ahead, kind of like ask somebody well in advance, at least. Like they went from con weekend to con weekend to con weekend to con weekend. I'm like back and back and back. And they can only work on these things so far ahead, right? Like they have to close out San Diego Comic-Con before they can even start working on C2E2 really.
Right.
But you have to send some emails and you have to poke a little bit and be like, I'm just respectfully asking. So we, cut around to the topic there. We ended up getting a 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. slot. And the night before, Post Malone does his big giveaway thing.
It shuts it all down on accident.
I don't know what happened, but I had been popping in and out of the Post Malone thing saying, follow, don't forget to bookmark the actual Magic the Gathering show on the 14th of the month. And I kind of regularly been making a presence in there to all the new people coming in that don't know how to use the app or are still learning that, kind of giving them some pointers, making sure they're bookmarking stuff. And I think that might have had something to do with Friday when we went live from the stage. It made every single show that I had scheduled go live, and it only glitched me out. And it was a glitch that the engineers had never seen before. They had on-site engineer support for this convention.
Wow.
This guy was absolutely phenomenal. We were able to shut everything down, delete it, start a new one, clone it, and get back on and get going again. Like I was amazed at how phenomenal the Stash Loot guys, well, family, not just guys but girls, because Stash Loot actually kind of does the entertainment element of the booth. Those guys are phenomenal. I love the Stash Loot guys. And then the engineering side of things, like they had answers right there. It's like, okay, let's get back on and get going. My favorite part is I'm kind of a tech geek. And because of this, I might be able to be a part of a portion of Whatnot where I have direct communication line to the programmers or engineers, if you will, to like if I find something that's not going right on my phone or the PC side of things, I have like I'm hoping to get a direct email access to like, look guys, I think I found something, check it out please. You know what I mean? Because right now you got to contact seller support. There's some levels or there's some layers kind of there. And I'm going to preface this by saying I don't work for Whatnot. I'm a streamer just like you guys on YouTube and IG and a lot of other places. And Whatnot is just kind of where I make room for all the more other comics that I have coming in. But it's just kind of really fun to experience this growth with that. And Friday
so
with
Andy, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead because I don't know where I was going with this actually.
Oh, well, I was about to ask. So you said that you don't work for Whatnot. Okay, we're just going to get into the meat and potatoes of everything now. So you said you don't work for Whatnot. What does that mean for those that don't know? What does it mean to work for Whatnot?
Like I did not apply or interview for Whatnot. and I don't have a contract. I don't receive any monthly or bonuses or anything of that nature. The
You're
con
not
thing
under
is
a contractual obligation to the company.
correct. Yeah, like
Not
I
an
could go
employee.
on sell on Shortbox. I could go sell on eBay. I could go pretty much sell anywhere if I wanted to. But like I told you guys earlier before we went live, I'm really fat and I'm really lazy, and there's a lot of conveniences built in with Whatnot that just kind of make it really fun.
There it is.
It sounds like you're not as lazy as me though, because you're actually selling something.
And that is why I love Andy, because he's 100% honest about stuff.
He is very transparent. Like this past weekend when it was all going down, what did he do? From his hotel room, he jumped on Thoro. Keep It Thoro Comics. I keep calling him Thoro Kiboro because that's what his name used to be. Keep It Thoro Comics from his hotel room to talk about the whole thing. And
well, it wasn't even really to talk about everything. It's the unfortunate side of things is there's a lot of people that were not at the convention that want to talk about the convention, and they use the best information that they can find. But that best information that they can find oftentimes might not be factual, and it creates a false narrative that gets carried forward. And my frustration on Saturday is there was a lot of comments to some things happening that nobody had answers to, and it was kind of like, don't carry the message forward if it's not factual. And I can tell you guys that is not factual. Like some of the stuff I'm paraphrasing heavily.
okay, so what is not factual? Because you messaged me specifically about one YouTube content creator that made a video.
Oh,
and you were saying Bueller was upset about this guy too because he left a comment about it. We don't have to say that.
Is the video not posted anymore?
I don't know.
I watched it yesterday. I think it was posted yesterday. And you said that there was some false narratives in there that you wanted to address.
Yeah, because at this state in the game, like I don't want to be anybody out there trying to call people liars, because people aren't intentionally trying to lie, right? They're utilizing the best information that they can find, and what they feel is, hey, I heard it from this person, I trust this person 1,000,000%. You know what I mean? So what happens is you get this message, but every time it hits a new person, a little bit breaks off. That honesty and integrity kind of breaks off into pieces, and that message originally degrades. So this person posted a video talking about how people were they said that influencers from Whatnot and YouTube were pushing people out of the way to get to these incentives or these variants. Incredibly not fucking factual at all.
Do you think that when they said that, they meant literally?
Well, then he prefaced this, if I'm using that term correctly, even to say, I don't know if that happened. Well, if you don't know that it happened, why are you even taking something as egregious as that and carrying that message forward? I was there. I was like,
Black Flag even was like, Black Flag went live like the afternoon of the whole thing and was saying that people were saying that. You know what I mean? That was probably the worst video that came out of all of this, is them trying to do their little PR.
Their Black Flag video made them look so bad.
But he said that even. Like, if no one saw anything but his video, the own company, they would assume that people were saying that. But I don't think no one's taking it literally. It's just, jumping.
I mean, a lot of us that have been to the conventions and know each other and know the community as a whole. But the problem is there are a lot of eyes on YouTube and Whatnot and C2E2 and other things. There's a lot of new, fresh eyes that aren't a part of this community that are just being welcomed in, and they're seeing this narrative.
That energy is horrible that comes from that statement.
Okay, so one of my other questions is, because you are associated with Whatnot, how much how much trouble has this caused you, honestly? I mean, because not in the sense of trouble with the platform, but just trouble with people thinking that because you're on Whatnot, that you are associated with Whatnot in the sense that you are contracted through them or whatever. Has anybody reached out and was just terribly angry about all this, or put you as the main culprit or whatever? You know what I mean? Even though I know you stood in line and did all that, are people still blaming you just because?
Association. I guess what type of association? Am I associated with Whatnot? Yes and no. I guess it depends on how you use that phrase. I don't have a contract. I'm not hired by them. A couple of people that work for Whatnot are friends of mine, and they're people that honestly, just like you guys, we've built up relationships over the years. Now, because of that, how much strife or how much trials or challenges has that caused via whatnot? Actually, 0. You know what caused me the most strife? Was just posting one picture of that acetate to Instagram. Just posting one and stating, "Hey, follower giveaway. We're giving away a copy of this book." You know what I mean? Like I'm super pumped. I'm super excited, and I'll kind of add some context to that. That one post to say that, and all people saw was the picture. All people saw was the picture, and of course, at this point, post convention, you're out, you're doing dinner, you're hanging out with friends. I'm not checking social media. I wake up the next morning to messages and direct messages stating, I need to be transparent and I need to account for what I bought and where it's going. And I'm like, no. What the hell happened? I mean, I post one picture as a free giveaway for a book that had turned into the hottest book of that night.
About that, hands in the air, like getting to the culture behind Whatnot. And there's no secret or anything that Whatnot comes with like a bag of shit attached to its name. It just does. For a lot of people in the community, especially those that go to cons, they've been seeing this culture building of these bigger sellers that are getting privileged things at cons and all this kind of crap, where they're able to like they did it this week in front of everybody, just walking to the front of the line and get taken privileges and get whatever they want and all that. Go ahead.
I want to address your question with a question.
Yeah.
Did people cut in line, or did Black Flag tell them to come back to the front of the line after they were already there?
Yeah.
I don't have that answer, but that's
for me, one and the same. Because if did Andy go to the front of the line? Did Andy try to get in front of everybody? So I don't really give a shit the way that they got to the front of the line. Like, I look at that as like, if a member of this would you have done that since you're here? I don't want to speak on them. Would you have done that? Would you have walked to the front of the line and looked at all those people in the eyes, some of them that you know, wave at them while you went and capped out on what you were trying to pick up that week?
If I was there before and had to go to the bathroom, yes, because there's perspective and context.
Yeah, that's like a 100. That's I'm not talking about if you had to go shake your tree, my dude. I'm talking about if you're just going to grab your fucking books.
But yeah, like no, definitely would have walked in, and if I could add to this more context to this,
yeah, please.
The funniest thing here and the craziest thing here that people aren't really noticing, I think Sarah and I were like 8th and 9th in line, or 10th or 11th, or something to that effect. We were pretty much up there. People that only had a Friday badge, no exhibitor badge, no VIP badge, no nothing. A Friday standard badge had snuck in and were in that line ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's factual. I saw those.
Apparently,
badges.
It wasn't that hard to sneak in. Chip just walked in.
No secret. Chip got there literally early before like anyone that worked there was there to say, "Hey, not yet." He just got there and walked in the convention.
Security is amazing.
He was live on my stream, wandering around there, showing us before anyone was there. But that I'm talking about the people that were waiting, like already waiting. Like, I mean, we're dancing around. If this is a whole ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all be fat motherfuckers scenario. I'm just trying to be direct. Would you cut motherfuckers in line to go get yours?
Absolutely not. No.
So and it's no secret, the fucking Whatnot crew, man. Like, it's no secret. The ones that are employed by Whatnot, under contract, working for Whatnot, no secret who they are, who do this at every con. It's talked about all the time by people all over YouTube. It's not a secret. And then they do it in front of everybody. It was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. That's kind of what I'm getting to. Not did they do it. They fucking did it. That unethical, in-your-face behavior that can go on behind closed doors as business agreements, it just has gotten so comfortable that they're doing it in front of people's faces, is a big fuck you to a lot of people standing there, and people got pissed. And that's that behavior that's just kind of fostered with Whatnot. It's kind of giving them this bad name, which we talked about beforehand, you benefit from Whatnot just like you would if you're selling off another thing, but it's Whatnot that you use. So how does it make you feel knowing that people are tarnishing the name of something that could affect your day-to-day operation?
So I can speak to this. I can speak to this a little bit. I don't have all of the answers by any means whatsoever, and I will say it had nothing to do with Whatnot. Before the convention started, a lot of us friends had said, you know what, we should probably get together as a group and like walk around and look to see what's going to be available before sales start to kind of decide where we wanted to go or kind of split up, kind of like a friendly thing, right?
Oh yeah, that's where I'm going with this question. This is a two-parter, I promise.
Yeah. And then Sarah and I got kind of split up. We couldn't find anybody, and I go by what unknown, and I don't really see anything at unknown I want. And the Comic Mint hadn't even put tables up at that point in the morning. Like everybody's running behind because the building was 95 degrees on Thursday. Nobody set up. It was like ridiculously hot there. So the fact that man, like I don't have all the answers by any means, but eventually
a little touchy as well. Like, I mean, like this is the part that I really want to know, where I was kind of getting to with all this. The fact, how big is C2E2? It's not a small con, right?
No, but where all the publishers, all the retailers, and all the comic sellers are all pretty much condensed to the front of the convention.
Were there a good number of them there?
Less than there should have been, to be honest with
you.
That's
what Becker told me. This was kind of a light year, but even so, for a big con, how the fuck is it that every single prominent paid employee of Whatnot knows to gather at this specific booth for this specific cover at this specific con that was only just announced kind of that day? Like, that's the whole pump and dump look that this shit has. It smells like shit. You know what I'm saying?
None of us could really find like a release schedule. So this is something a lot of the other community members have said. Like, nobody really found like an exclusive release list. People were going to publishers' Facebook pages and finding that. And I don't believe that a lot of those people are paid or hired, or maybe there's some contracts, but that's where I can't provide answers there, Mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily needing that, but it's just weird that all these prominent sellers, all these prominent paid employees of Whatnot, or non-paid ones, but prominent ones that clearly intermingle with each other because they posted all over social media that, hey, check out our string of shows where we all do this together, that clearly know and hang out with each other per their social media. They're all hanging on each other like any group of friends would do. They all knew that this was the fucking book at the same time. Well, that's kind of weird. Is all
Jack says no paid employees of Whatnot were there. We were all running and setting up our own booth.
That's 100% right there.
What is interesting
for context, Jack, because you might not have caught that earlier. People under contract to sell for you are paid employees by the definition we're rocking with. Contracted sellers for Whatnot. Jack, you are a paid employee as probably like that way, but there's more than one way to be employed for a company.
Can I add an element to this? Can I add I'll add another facet to this really quick, because I can't speak to the contract side of things. I'm not under contract. Here's the funny part though, that I don't think people have realized or kind of added as a facet here, is some dude that nobody knows, that had a standard like Friday badge or whatever. Nobody knows, like wearing a mask, wearing sunglasses. Nobody recognized him. Two people behind me. He was one of several people that did the two-step to the side, walked up. Hey, how's it going? And then all of a sudden he's buying.
Then just staying there.
So if you take this glob and kind of saw that as what happened at the front, there was a chunk of it that were people that nobody even knew, that like cut out of line, out and around. That was a problem. And I'm like sitting here, like, seriously, that made me more angry that people blatantly were already in line behind people ahead of time and walked out, up, and got right in to buy. That made me more angry than anything else.
And real quick, because I know some people in the chat might be just listening and not watching the chat, but Mr. Bolo, I think Two Brothers is talking to you. That said they've been having a hard time getting to you.
What questions you guys had in the chat? Please direct any questions that are respectful to Andy, and we will try to get them asked. Now, there was something we were talking about before we went live. Andy was saying there was some stuff with this book that we actually assumed that is actually not true, and that is that the acetates was not actually created by Crane. Is that correct?
I'm working on that. I don't have that 100%, but the general consensus now between a few of us is that we're like 60% of the way there. We don't think Clayton Crane did the art for the acetate, and we're trying to solidify that. That is still only.
God, I hope he didn't, because that art for the acetate.
No, Clayton Crane has done too many flags on too many covers to allow for those errors and mistakes to happen. That's where a lot of our hearts are at right now, because there's just too many errors with the acetate.
It looks like his art style. Even the rest just looks like Photoshop stuff. But the flag not being folded properly, the stars and bars being incorrect on there, and God We Trust being small. Like, it doesn't matter what your religious affiliation is. This for the military, that would be done a certain way with a certain amount of respect. With God being all smaller case, the rest uppercase, and the in trust on it, it was just
so yeah.
Fuck.
So the way they stack that together is weird. In God we entrust America is what I think they were trying to imply, but they used an archaic spelling, and the way they mashed them together it's got problems. It's a book that's got problems, and we all kind of feel really freaking duped.
Is
And-
this?
Yeah,
Was
it
was
looks
this
like an
or
email from a Nigerian prince
It did.
on the back. You know what I mean?
Tom's asking a question, Andy. Do you think it was on purpose or an error?
I think it's somebody that went to Google or went to some website and was trying to piece this together, and they did it last second, and they just didn't fact check themselves, because entrust, IN, is a correct spelling. It's a very archaic, not used spelling of entrust.
It's an alternate, like I saw it too. It's an alternate spelling for an alternate way. Like entrust would be with EN, and IN is like it's a variation of a alternation. So it's even farther away from correct than that. But that's just so many mistakes.
There's no way Clayton Crane would have letting that go through like that. No freaking way.
I think he's more professional.
My
than
whole
that.
thing is on the acetate. Doesn't it actually say Crane on the acetate?
It does say his name on the back of the acetate. It does on top of.
Well,
the,
does it say it in reference?
Is it the acetate or is it on the actual?
No,
book?
the pseudo signature on the back. I thought it said Clayton Crane.
You have one, Alan. Look real quick.
I don't have it yet. It's in the mail.
Oh, okay, man.
Did you win one of my giveaways?
No, I did not. My brother from another mother, Beckerman, stood in line and got me one.
Nice.
And I don't want to say anything more about it. Just
okay.
You guys all know his whole ordeal about how at some point they had to they upped the price to be.
Yeah, let me get to
Everyone's
that too.
in agreement on like the ridiculousness of all that. I think that's
Yes.
that's not under question, is it, Andy?
What's that?
The unethical nature of Black Flag Comics on that
So,
day.
let's kind of put this into kind of a bigger perspective and take that first 5 or 10 minutes out. And actually, let's add some more context to this.
I love it.
The context of this is
Thank you.
I'm going to speculate a little bit here, and I think that you guys, everybody heard about this 2-line option that they're talking about for Boston.
Completely.
I'm a speculator. I'm a
Well,
what is a speculator now? That in case I go to a con. Yeah.
I think that they were going to try that in Chicago, and I think that may have been why things got botched so bad, because they showed up last minute. They showed up at like 9:35, 25, 30 minutes before sales start, and they just started rolling in.
This has been all week long. This has been my focus on the thing here is on this piece, right? Isn't on the people who are reselling it, because that's no big deal to me. What it has been is that Black Flag says in their own response, right? These were pre-sold items. So if nobody knew about this schedule, but they pre-sold the books ahead of time, Black Flag should have been cognizant of the optics and made arrangements for delivery of these pre-sold items.
Well, Andy, just for context, Andy,
I didn't
first.
No, I'm not saying
no
Andy.
one knew the release schedule. No, I'm talking to what you just.
I'm not talking about Andy. Andy was clearly identified by Chip Getler as waiting in line.
Yes.
Andy's a golden child.
So
okay, I'm saying that Black Flag said. What I'm saying is that Black Flag said in their video that a lot of these people weren't cutting in line, but they were picking up prepaid items, these blocks of books, supposedly.
Yeah, bold-faced lie.
And
I'm not saying it's a lie. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They were pre-sold. But if there was no release schedule, how did anybody know to prepay and pre-order these books?
That's what I'm saying, Rob.
Yes, go ahead, Andy.
Go ahead, Andy.
You want to know how to pick away at this?
Yeah,
I would love to.
I'm curious about it because I
dig away and find out what retailers were not at C2E2 but have multiple copies available for sale right now.
Yeah, I know that Comic Mint has some and got some. In fact, I speculate
Comic Mint was there though,
right? But I actually speculate that they're the one who got their stack rated at the end because their email, the way it was phrased, that we have a very limited quantities.
Well,
I got one of theirs. I'm good with that.
I mean, like seriously, these exhibitors have been friends for a long time, and how many exhibitors pre-sale stuff to each other?
That's fine.
But then, so how many exhibitors weren't there? A lot more than what have been in the years past. and how many deals do they usually set up in a week before or 2 days before or things of that nature. I'm posing a thought process. I'm posing food for thought that I have zero credibility or zero.
It's this is where I'm going with this is so they pre-sold and they announced that we have X a number, and this is where the part that gets me the frustrated about the whole scenario. You say there's X number for the con, you've got it sounds like nearly half the inventory at least was pre-sold minimum, if not more, and then they don't plan any kind of allocation. So Friday we're just going to sell it, we're sold out instantly. You're not planning for Saturday people or anything else, and you then start raising the price, where I don't know about the laws of Illinois. I know in California, if you advertise something at a price and you try changing it on the floor like that, that's against the law.
Same in Michigan.
So I don't know how it is in Illinois, but that type of stuff is really shady and is bad. And I mean, look, they're a business. They're there to make their money. I get that. At the end of the day, right? They're going to try to get theirs. And if they choose, if the purpose of having an exclusive book in theory is supposed to draw attention to you, draw in potential new customers and everything else, this has kind of done the opposite short term, at least. It's drawn a lot of negative attention.
Yeah.
But it has drawn a lot of eyeballs on them that, who knows, maybe over time people could move on to the next two nerd rages and, they start coming back to them. But I mean, it's just a really bad optics scenario.
Yeah.
And then the responses were bad. And it's unfortunate that many people who were just selling it got negative impact on them, because as I said on some of these other things, look, even if this is my job and I have any kind of inkling this is a book, or even if I didn't have inkling and I decided to take a gamble at $85 a pop and I bought up 75 to 100 of these damn books, that is an outlay of cash. That is a huge gamble to say that you're going to be able to move all those at a profit. So to that person, I don't hold them accountable for it. It's the optics, Black Flag mishandling the distribution.
So here's to add to that speculation piece. Name me. No, that's not. I'm putting that responsibility in your court. I don't think anybody that has been a part of the Whatnot community in the last year and a half and starting up has 12, 13, 14, 16 grand laying around. There might be a couple of people, but this is where I'm like wondering about the retailer side of things.
I assume that the huge bundles are probably the retailer side and not. I don't think that any Whatnotter walked in there and said, okay, yeah, get me 50 of these at $85 a pop.
I mean, Jim Mint said that Skeff spent 16 grand over the weekend. I don't know if that's true or not, but he said that in the video.
I'm not going to add more to it, but I'm going to add this. That's it's not there, which is why I feel like the video probably
Jim Mint didn't say something accurate.
But here,
real quick, Andy, I do want to ask, I don't know how much more time you have, but without looking into the past, because I am curious what your thoughts are on what's ahead, because we know that there's 2 more acetates that are already made from Black Flags that were planned at the upcoming cons. We even have their CGC census numbers for them. Are you planning on picking any of these up?
Fuck no. No. So here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. I was actually saw in a group chat somewhere that Boston's potentially blocking Black Flag. Do they please, somebody out there, if anybody is near Boston and can see if
they'll all be available at KRS instead.
They're there.
They're there.
Okay, so that was non-factual.
Their booth is set up, and they're there.
Okay. But I mean, if we want to get transparent here, let's talk transparency here, because I'm really frustrated with this cover. I'm really frustrated with this situation. And when my wife and I drug my wife again to a line, because status quo for C2E2 is like 2 copies per person usually, and they're $30 to $50. So here's my plan: 4 copies. I want to get one graded for Mission 22 donation or charity giveaway.
Somebody's got to take a military book and actually donate money to military charity, huh?
Yeah, I want to do one on a Whatnot. I saw this is a perfect opportunity, although expensive, to do a Whatnot follower giveaway on the main stage Friday with Beth to draw more eyes to Beth's artwork. Cool. That's 2 copies. Copy 3, I had a veteran friend that wanted one that was there working the convention that was not going to be able to get in line. Boom. Copy 4, personal copy. And then, I had this plan. I had this plan, and you know what happens to people that are veterans and some of us that are very structured? When that plan breaks, your brain fogs. And when that line starts selling and you hear no limit, you're like, oh my God, wait, what the hell do I do now?
How many can I get now?
What do I do? My brain instantly went like, how many charity auctions can I do for Mission 22 when I get them graded? How many follower giveaways can I do this weekend? Granted, you guys know me. I love chasing 9/8, so I buy 2, 3, 4, whatever. And my brain immediately goes to, like, my brain fractures into how much money do we have available for the weekend? How many copies should I responsibly buy? And then what are we going to do with all of these? And we get up there, and she like she's ready. She's like, how many do you want? I'm like, I don't know yet. I haven't figured this out. You just dropped the bombshell on me. We ended up purchasing 14 out of pocket. We paid for 16. No. We paid for 16 because one went to a veteran that was working a booth that could not get in line. Another one's going to go to another veteran good buddy, and I paid for 14 and carried 14. I went immediately to that Whatnot booth over there, and that's where that picture of that giveaway from in front of Jay Stashloot is like, we're doing a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway. Now I'm still holding the one that's going to my veteran buddy because that was going to go for grading. So one is out to the veteran working the booth, the veteran friend, and I'm not naming this person. I don't want this person brought in. I'm at the Whatnot booth. We do the Friday giveaway, and let me make sure I have my math right in my head. Then we did a Saturday giveaway as well, and I did $1 start on one copy. And I'm like, okay, at some point we've given away 3 and $85 a pop. I'm hoping that I can do something to kind of even out. And it went for $172, and I was over the moon that somebody got a phenomenal deal in the midst of all the other copies going for $300 or so. So somebody got a good deal. I walked away from that, and I counted, we had 12 left. And at this point, people start talking about the staples, and I start getting confused because I don't collect acetate covers. I don't really know about. And then this is when I start looking at the inconsistencies on the cover too. Because when they pulled all the books out of the boxes at the table, they're cover for cover. So the white backing boards are out facing. So when she sets all the copies on the counter, I'm looking at a board of the other one that's turned over. I'm not even looking at the cover yet, and I'm getting paid because I'm trying to do the responsible thing of pay and move. This is a long line. There's a lot of people waiting. Yes. Pay and move. And I go. So it's after I've paid, after I've made commitments to some giveaways, that I start realizing that things aren't quite right. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm like, well, that's fine. The staples thing, I'm like, well, immediately in my head, it's like, well, the stray dogs thing wasn't too big of an issue. Let's go to CGC. And Sunday, I submitted these to CGC after sleeping on it and kind of pondering it with the Thorough show and this other stuff. And I'm like, because I know on Thorough show, I told them 14 because that's what we paid for. That's what we walked away with. The 16 that we actually paid for, 2 were given away.
So all of your rest of your copies, to be transparent, they're all at CGC at this moment.
And I'm going to make a video on this because we subbed to CGC and then things got worse and they got worse and they got worse and they got worse and they're continuing to get worse. Our goal was to get these back from CGC graded, hopefully in high grade, and do charity auctions for Mission 22. And then kind of, because at this point, they're gone in my head, and I'm still trying to figure out, do we auction off 4? Do we auction off 6 for Mission? I don't know. We haven't figured that out. I'm being transparent. My brain is fucking mush at this point, trying to figure this shit out. So we send them, and then things continue to get worse. So what do? I'm like, I'm feeling really not great about this. This is getting really bad. I call CGC. We all know at the bottom of the CGC submission stuff, it says no cancellations or you cannot cancel. I called them and be like, look, like a chunk of these books were going to be for charity. I cannot bring this cover to a charity auction with how controversial it is right now. And I can't bring that to Mission 22. I can't bring that to any of the supporting elements. This is really frustrating. I'm like, and this lady at CGC was so nice and so helpful. She's like, well, sir, you know, no cancellations and you sign. I'm like, I get that, but can I talk to somebody? And she's like, let's file an appeal. Okay. She spent a good 15, 20 minutes with me on the phone to file this appeal. And this is all going to be in a video I'm going to post on the channel, hopefully here soon. I was going to record it tonight, but we're hanging out. And during that appeal, it gets filled out and have a good day. See you later. And within 12 hours, I wake up the next morning with box received, box open. Your submission is received and scheduled for grading. I'm like, what the shit? Well, this is.
That's all right. Scheduled for grading. You still got weeks.
I paid for fast tracking, but holy hell.
Yeah, they open your box quick, but that doesn't mean that's all they do. It still sits there and linked. My fast pass submissions are sitting there for 4 weeks now. They've opened the box within 2 days, but they're went straight to schedule for grading. That's it.
We'll see how this goes down. This is why I'm so not happy with this situation and how it's playing out, and the fact that I kind of put my eggs pretty heavy into a basket that I thought we were going to do a lot of different things with, and like I said, I saw an opportunity to do follower giveaways, do Mission 22 charities, and then potentially sell a couple of copies to try to get to that break even mark or so, and then have
a lot of money. If you bought 16 copies at $85 a pop, that is a lot of money.
It's $1,300 some odd bucks.
Yes,
that's $1,300.
Now they're all with the only grading company that will grade them,
and it's over.
Well, actually, that's not true. The only company that'll give it a 9.8.
Okay.
It's over $500 in grading to fast track 12 copies.
Yeah.
So you're set at $1,800 right now. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's transparency. That's a lot of money, and there's always a risk to this, right? Like, could I have taken everything and sold them immediately on the floor? I could have. Did I want to? That was not my plan. That was not what I wanted to do. Like, it's more about is equal parts receiving as giving. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how in my head, like, whatever number I land on, a lot of times I try to split that down the middle and give and receive. Like, if I'm going to fight for my PC collection and I have this opportunity to be in this line, I want to give back, whether it be to the veteran community, to Mission 22, or just the YouTube community or the whatnot community in general. There's got to be some element of that, because I have way too much fun when people win that stuff.
And it's very apparent on your whatnot sales too. I mean, it's great watching you. You're one of my favorite people to watch, even before you were on whatnot. You know, when we did those sales on Skeff's channel. You know what I mean? Like, you know, those were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And and this isn't the first time you've donated to, or we're going to donate to Mission 22. I've heard you talk about Mission 22 before, right?
Yeah. So the YouTube channel, the mission for 2022 is Mission 22. All channel monetizations being donated to Mission 22 for the year of this year. All of it. We did the first chunk not too long ago. I was a little late, but that was like $450 worth of monetization. That was actually a year's, because the channel was monetized middle of last year, and we didn't know what to. I mean, like we kind of had this grandmaster plan, but last year there wasn't enough to really kind of roll into this plan, so we rolled it forward into this year and created this plan with Mission 22. And it's just like anybody else. I don't have anything signed with Mission 22. I don't have any pamphlets or paperwork. All I do is go right to their website and I donate the money.
I'll be completely transparent here. I wanted a copy before I saw it posted on Black Flag on Thursday, or maybe it was even Friday morning. And I messaged D-Runt Comics and I said, "Hey, have you been over to Black Flag yet? They have a UF4 that looks really cool." And he goes, "What? Let me see." And I sent him a picture. He goes, "Okay, I'm going to go right there." And at that point, I had only seen the front. Okay. And he goes, "Yeah, I'll go right there." And then he said they sold out. I'm like, "Okay, no worries." And then everything hits the fan. It goes crazy. And we all get pissed off, right? And me too. And I made a video of Dave before I had all the facts. I wish I would not have made that video with him, but we did. And honestly, it helped him, because he's a person who's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours watched. And that video is doing very well for him. So it ended up being good for him. Having said that, like I said, we didn't have all the facts, but we still made a video, and I thought it was good for him. Since then, I have tried to get a copy for the Burke fan, because I feel like 750 copies, there's less than 300 people that have a copy of this book. The rarity of this book is crazy, with the amount of people that have purchased an X amount of books or copies, right? I'm like, I would love to get this rare book into a hand of one of my channel members. You know what I mean? And I thought it would be cool to put it in a Burke box. Mark says no. But I'm just saying, from my point of view, I was like, I could either put it in a Burke box, or I could do an entire channel-wide giveaway for it.
Or a whack hack. You think of that?
I don't know how many messages. I don't know how many messages I sent to Andy and retracted and tried to reword, and then I just gave up because I was like, I don't know the best way to word this. So I was trying different places to figure out to try to get a copy, and eventually I just gave up because I realized how expensive they were going for, and I wasn't going to be able to get a copy for this.
Well, you see, we're in the fog of war. Like seriously, the fog of war. You see where I was at in line. You're one of many people that were messaging friends and messaging me, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? What do I do? Do I? Because at this point, I don't give a flying fuck about money. At this point, it's all about family. And if I have a little nest egg at a con and I can figure this out and we can do cover price or not cover price, but that's where I got so confused about who's asking for what that I'm like, she hit me so fast. I just ran with the number, took care of a couple of veterans. And then on the back end, I was like, well, I'll just figure this out if things get graded because CGC's here. We want to do graded copies as auctions for Mission 22. And that shit got confusing, and then it got toxic.
Yeah. Do you have something you want to say on the shill bidding on eBay? How stupid it's gotten or anything?
Billy, Burke, you don't need $1 million. You only need $1,525. It's current bid on one of them and ends in 6 days.
There you go, Steve.
So for the books that the people out there are going to eBay, and it's not necessarily eBay that's pulling these books down because eBay doesn't have that manpower to pay attention to this one little mini portion of eBay. What's happening is people are going to these, finding them, and they're reporting them as counterfeit, and then the eBay bot is pulling them down based on the way the reports are being handled.
Sure.
Now, for those that aren't able to get pulled down, that's where we're seeing people go in and shill bidding them up way ridiculously high to throw red flags. People are doing whatever they can to throw enough red flags to get them pulled. And a lot of them are getting pulled, but not all of them.
And some of the ones that are being sold at ridiculous prices.
And people are paying it, or because here's the thing: a lot of people are saying it's a counterfeit. How is it able to even be sold? And I'm like, counterpoint. What about the counterfeit TMNTs and Cerebuses and all the other ones out there? Sure, they're known about now, but in the last 20 years, sales were happening, and the only people that knew about it are the seller and the buyer if they put it in the title. And eBay is not paying attention to that 1% of that 1% of what's happening on eBay there.
And counterfeit's a strong word for it. It isn't like you're printing illegal money. It's
So
not
unauthorized.
It's not a registered book. You know what I mean? It's at this point it's a collectible item. Whether it be a book, a trophy, a ball, whatever it is, it's just an item worth this amount of money, and it is worth that.
90% of the book, thumbs up, was printed, was approved, 3,000 copies, whatever. Marvel. 90% of the book is good. That acetate, that 10%, is not, and was added.
Pull the staples off, and you have a shitty $20 book. There you go.
It's got a couple extra holes in it, sure, but like 100% of the TMNT counterfeits are counterfeit.
I'm with
100%. So when people talk terms of service and people talk what's right and what's there, this is kind of a gray area in collecting that eBay never addressed over the last 20 some odd years. And like the terms of service with Whatnot, like I said, that predated the comic arm being opened and started and grown. That term of service, that TOS, I hope Whatnot takes a look at it and kind of revises that, because that's based off of fake pops and fake magic cards and fake cards.
I think the whole thing, like with the books credibility and the Black Flags practice and just the Whatnot thing, are two separate issues altogether, which just kind of got put together in this situation because you had the pump and dump jackasses that take advantage of new members of this community every fucking day attached to this book. So it just got highlighted all at the same time. Two separate things that just making this a whole huge convoluted topic at times.
There's 3 or 4 things that add to this that make it challenging, but
people
we kind of got we kind of got onto the left field. So I mean, I don't remember what the last question was
about the book's counterfeit validity.
Last time they were talking about it was like the Boston and other stuff, but
talking about what it was selling for on eBay. And how people are still buying them.
Yeah. I don't know. So that puts me in a position where I'm pretty uncomfortable with when these come back and get unboxed. I'm in a very uncomfortable. People are being crucified for not only, collecting or I was hoping that this was going to be I'm not hoping. I was going to buy because I wanted this partly for the PC and I wanted the other options like we talked about. And then it had all these issues. And now I'm stuck with the books being in grading. And when I receive these back, I don't know what to do with them, number one. But the first thing I figured out that I can do is I have plans to record a video to let people know what happened and what the intentions were and why they're stuck at CGC and why they're getting graded now, so that we can unbox them. We can all either have a really uncomfortable laugh or we can all have a bonfire.
Did you have an exhibitor badge or a pro badge at the con?
Or was one given to you?
Exhibitor badge.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I have an exhibitor badge. I'm not employed by Whatnot. I'm not contracted by Whatnot. But if anybody's been going to the convention scene long enough, you can go and you can kind of put your hand up at the door. Hey, you can talk to your friends. Like if you guys know somebody running a booth and they need labor and they need help, you can sign a piece of paper. Here's my name, and I'm with this person, and they'll give you a little fabric wrist badge to get in to build. That Thursday, it was 95 degrees, and it was miserable, and it was a terrible nightmare on the floor to prep and do some stuff. And there was some storms. There was some travel issues. And I will say that some Whatnot employees were severely delayed getting into Chicago because of weather. And full transparency, I put my hand up. I'm here to help, guys. Like, do you
so
guys
you put
need
your
a
hand up to say you were here to help Whatnot? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm kind of here because honestly, I see that as if I'm providing value, there is the potential to receive value. Potential. They're not required. They're not obligated, and they don't need to give me an exhibitor badge at all. I was there on a wristband to help out because people's flights were delayed. That's why I was there. So what I did is I actually helped. We unboxed and opened up, I think, 8, 9, 10 pallets of boxes and set stuff aside and set like the little plushy things and the little cans and kind of set that aside and organize things. And that was pretty uncomfortable, and that was not a good feeling. So I was approached by Whatnot, and after in the evening when we were done, approached by them and be like, hey, thank you for your help, and here's that. And that is a very rare case, and I'm being 100% transparent with you guys. That's not something that's standard quo. That's not normal. You know what I mean? That was 8 to 9 hours of labor on the floor, because I want to spend time with what I considered my family on the floor while they were working. The people that were there. I would have done it even if I did not have an opportunity for a badge. You know what I mean? So I hope I don't get in trouble or talk to about that, and I hope I don't ruin that for anybody else in the future. But it's one of those things where it's like I saw an opportunity to try to help and provide value.
Also, what's wrong with that? You literally worked. You went and worked the con.
You worked a booth, and then you waited in line.
I don't think there's a good.
Where do you get off? Where do you get off waiting in line in an orderly fashion? What makes you think that you're just as good as the rest of us and no better?
Wait, what? Oh, that's sarcasm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I don't know that.
Yeah, Rob is very dry, but I knew that was a sarcasm.
I don't know the inner workings and the paperwork side of things and the contractual side of things. When a vendor goes to a venue scene, I don't know what that's. I hope I don't get anybody in trouble, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like I think there's got to be a roster. I think there's got to be some things, and I don't know how that works. But let's be honest, traveling is a bitch. Doing conventions is really challenging. Having labor available to take care of some of these things is extremely challenging. And this is my hometown kind of court in the Great Lakes area. So it's like I put myself in a position to be available, and that it kind of worked out. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the status quo either.
I have two questions.
It's not an unfair perk. I mean, if you put in the time.
I don't know, though. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like status quo. It's not like normal.
No, you were fine. And Tom's fine for giving you one. I mean, if you put in the time and you helped out, put in freaking stuff, I mean, and he's got an extra one, who gives a shit?
I have two questions for you, and I don't know how much longer you can stay, but I would like to ask these two questions before you leave. Number one, where do you think this book is headed? Like, what do you think will happen with it in the future? and no one knows. I'm just asking you since you have this X amount of books. And number two, since Mark was grilling you earlier on Whatnot, do you understand why so many people were upset at Whatnot on top of the whole people cutting in line and all?
I don't.
Oh, so I mean, because that question too is fresh in my mind. Yes, but here's the thing: we just have to remember to tell everybody, let everybody know that it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to not talk. Like, we can talk about it. We don't. It's just like Mark. Mark loves DC. I hate DC. DC stands for don't care. Like, but I'm still gonna talk to Mark. Mark's still my friend. Like,
trying to get stabbed now.
you know, that's why there's multiple
Get over it.
platforms out there to sell, buy, sell, and trade collectibles, right? Because not every platform is right for everybody. And Dracula,
The acetate
Hey,
game
guys.
changer in the building.
you know what I mean?
Andy,
And
real quick, this is lighten the situation. Did you see his post from earlier tonight?
no,
Do you have him on hand, Drac?
He made an
I have him on IG.
I may have popped in here just to promote my acetate
Can you
variants.
show
Yes.
Andy while he's
Please
here?
show it.
Show them.
So
Show
these
them.
are actually these aren't jokes.
All right,
I mean, they're funny, but
This is
they're
a
legit.
one of one, people.
Two one of
They're
one.
beautiful.
Ones.
Oh, there's two of them.
Well,
Okay.
beautiful. Let me pull them out of the bag.
He literally did the exact same thing Black Flag did and made legitimate. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way they did. It isn't just a gimmick.
100%
quality.
legit. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
no,
here's
no.
the
These
first
are
one.
these have more staples. These are way better.
I don't know about that.
Give them
They're
that 5 and
definitely way
16.
better.
They're stronger, that's for sure.
I hope to God I haven't seen these,
All right,
but I
tell
hope to
us
God
about
that one of these Drac better be an acetate cover that allows you to put Punisher on a jet ski across the front of the goddamn
Oh
thing.
god,
Yeah,
that would have been
actually,
amazing.
there's no way I'm messing with that cover. That's
No.
It's
The
perfect the
acetate
way it
cover would
is.
have done it to introduce
Oh.
him into.
Rob. You just gave me a brilliant idea there. Thank you, sir.
No worries.
Show,
I'm an
show
idea
us the-
guy.
So this is of course my ultimate Fallout 4 Black Flag edition. The band,
Open it. Is it the first print or
the
second
band
print?
Black Flag.
Black
That's-
Flag the
oh, that's a
band.
facsimile.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yes.
So
Oh, there's the red. There's the red. Okay, dang it.
Yeah, it's a facsimile. And
But that's
then,
okay. So is theirs.
Show him the back.
I'll show you the back.
Rob.
So yeah, this is real acetate, guys, 100%. There's the back.
We trust. Yeah.
Drac we trust. And there's the lyrics
Have a
to
nervous
Black
breakdown.
Flag's Nervous Breakdown. Just added those. Just, added value there. And then
Oh yeah. Do you have Henry Rollins on there anywhere?
Yeah.
no, but
Henry
you know what?
Rollins approved.
If I am putting these up for auction on Whatnot, and if anyone gets them, I would love to see someone get it signed by Henry Rollins. That'd be great.
I actually got a Henry Rollins thing coming up not too
Yeah.
far from here.
Actually, I'd love to see this one signed by Henry Rollins as well. This is the Turok Dinosaur Hunter
This
#1,
one's amazing.
the Jurassic Park.
What in the shit? Oh my God.
That's legit, isn't it?
100%
That's
legit.
the one.
Is there a
Yeah,
toilet?
so there's the logo. It is Turok, right?
Tell me there's an outhouse on the back.
And there's the
Oh,
SUV.
God.
There's the SUV, right? Logo.
Famous
Same thing
for-
on the back. In Drac we trust.
No outhouse.
Well, no, it's there. It's laying down on its back. See,
Mark.
in
Mark,
the
give-
red circle.
Mark, give it to him. Mark.
Yeah. So
Give it
oh,
to
and I
him.
forgot.
Give it
Yeah.
to him.
So there's plenty of staples on this too.
It's just riddled.
That's the real value adder right there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
That acetate is not coming off of these.
Wow.
Jesus.
Speaking of dinosaurs, Mark, you want to give it to him?
No, you got it.
Oh God. Hey, why didn't the T-Rex clap his hands?
Why?
Because he's dead.
That's good.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
Oh, that's good.
Amazing.
I've got a good another 20, 25, 30 minutes.
Oh, God.
I have a really important question for you, Andy. Do you always go with plastic combs or do you use sandalwood sometimes too?
I
Your beard.
am not anywhere near the aficionado that people give me credit for, so I use whatever I find at the store that doesn't cost me $20.
Oh, you gotta go for wood
Bruh.
cones, man.
Children.
No,
Plastic is wrong.
no, it is way wrong.
Is it? Okay,
Yes.
I need it. So send me some links and I'll change up my game.
Yeah, so go livebearded.com.
Okay.
Andy's using straight up acetate
It's
to
all.
comb his
That's
beard.
where when I had my full beard. That's where still this day I get all my oils,
Recycled
balms,
acetate.
combs. But
Well-
you want a wood comb
Sandalwood.
because the plastic, the mold, it catches and it rips hairs out in the process.
That's true. I want to say that this is an extremely healthy and fun conversation. We're all in the same spot, and like we said, not every platform is right for everybody, and I will 100% support everybody in their decision to either not use one or not use another, or not be happy with one or not be happy with another, because it's all one family, it's all one love. And I do want to kind of, what else did we not cover yet? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to make a video because I'm stuck with these books grading at CGC. And
I have one quick question real quick, since you do use Whatnot. Is it true that Whatnot has a policy, whether you're under contract with them or not, about speaking out against Whatnot? That they'll send you stop emails and stuff like that? And you
That's
have
a-
to,
Not. I can say
you
that.
have to show like some kind of restraint even on other platforms. If
That's a solid question that I don't have an answer to, that makes me want to take a look to see if I can find that.
What
So
are you, so
I
you're
know
asking
the-
like if
I know
you
the
publicly
answer to it. The
criticize
answer is
them? If,
yes, they do. Like, I know that for certain. I mean, that's why I was asking.
Why is it in their T's and C's, Mark?
So,
Huh?
so are you saying you know someone that spoke out against them that sells on there and they got upset about that?
They got a cease email from them
Well, you can get
because they
that.
were being
thing?
because they're being critical of them on the platform, of like some of their practices. And,
Okay, so everyone knows I made that first Whatnot sale video that went terrible.
oh, dude, you crushed it.
It got 5,500 views, and when I
Oh
posted,
yeah,
before I posted the video, I said to Jack, I said to him, I'm about to post this video because my first Whatnot sale was terrible, and I'm just putting it out there, just letting you know. And he goes, well, his words to me at the time, it may have changed, that they like viewpoints from all sides to see what they can do to improve. That's what he said when I made the video. He has not said anything to me about the video since.
I will say this, that the criticisms that I've had for Whatnot in the past year and a half, the first people I contact are an attempt to get a hold of the programmers and an attempt to get a hold of seller support.
yeah.
And
So
it's
that could
because
be huge different. The fact that you reach out to the company about concerns versus just bitching about the company.
oh
about,
no,
like,
I complain and I piss and I moan, but like my circle is tight and small when I get outside of, you know what I mean? It's like my wife, and I'm like, ugh, this is glitching. But in the same fashion, I'm making that mental note, and I'm trying to, because at the end of the day, I want to have just as much fun as everybody else. And if I'm not having fun, then other people aren't having fun.
man, you definitely have fun. At least we have fun
Yes, you
watching
do.
you.
Your energy level is insane. It really is.
It's pretty amazing for a fat bastard, isn't it?
I do have another question for you.
Yeah.
So I did see other sellers that I've not heard were in line, and you can speculate or you can just say I don't know, that had books that sold them on Whatnots.
Hold on, can you back up to the beginning?
How did they get copies if they were not in line? Did they just have friends?
This is a great question that I'm glad you actually asked this, because I can use my experience that's not entirely related to add to this though. So Sarah and I were in line, like I said, somewhere like 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th, somewhere in that frame issue, if you will. At one point, I look up and I turn around, and there's like Davis Ryder, and then eventually like Gem Mint, and behind us, and then Tom, and there was one more, Golden Age Guru, Jeff, and we kind of talk about like what's standing around in the area, kind of like what's going on, what's being released, and but then I'm close enough within earshot. I hear Con 101. Hey, who's going to go to what line? How are they going to split up? who's going to go and pick up this. And you could tell that people were actually going to do like the divide and conquer and then trade books. And then eventually at some point, I remember not seeing Tom in line. So I don't think Tom, I probably misspoke on the thorough stream when I said Tom was in line, because he probably never got in line. He probably did the head over to his other people, his close knit group of friends, and talked about who was going to go where to what line and divide and conquer. That's Con 101. We've all done that for many years. And at one point, looking back, I remember not seeing a lot of those people. And this was before sales. And now, even in Thorough's channel, I even said that, like, I don't want to backpedal, but it gets really fuzzy at this point because my brain is getting fried trying to figure out, because I just found out there's no limit. Well, hell, they just blew my plan out of the water. So I'm kind of getting fried and kind of looking around, and I'm not really absorbing, and I'm taking things in, but I'm not really committing them to memory. But I do recall there being a lot less of those guys there. So my brain instantly went with Con 101, they're dividing and conquering, and they're probably trading. And I'm like, oh, that's a shame. I was really having fun talking to these guys, because that's kind of where you build relationships in line sometimes too. Speaking of building relationships, Phil, Vintage Collectibles on Whatnot, bought his 181 back that got stolen from him a few years ago. He got a solid, like almost 8.0 181 at an adjacent booth while we were waiting in line talking. And so to add to that kind of thing, repeat your question because I just went off into left field.
How did people get books if they were not in line?
I'm wondering if people started trading immediately after sales, because there were people lined up at the lined up at the Comic Mint booth for the Javon Jordan stuff. I remember hearing that one. There was another lineup that I heard. I think people immediately traded within the first 20-ish minutes after they grabbed stuff and left.
Okay.
That's my, I mean,
because I heard that Golden Age Guru was not in line, and I know for a fact that he sold one on his Whatnot over the weekend. That's specifically why I asked.
That's where that kind of comes.
Sorry, just over that weekend, C2E2 weekend, I was in and out of quite a lot of Whatnot shows, especially some of the bigger ones, and everyone pretty much had all the same books. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like you said, divide and conquer, maybe one person grabbed a stack and then they all kind of.
But how did they divide and conquer if they didn't know about the limit not being limited?
Text message. We live in an instant gratification society where no matter where anybody's at, you have instant connectivity and instant gratification, and you can tell Snapchat, text message, IG message, like instantaneously everybody's communicating what's happening at each different booth. Because that's kind of where my head's at too, is like, yo, God, yeah, like everybody's finding out everything all within 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds.
Right.
But yeah, I agree that it's kind of like interesting on how fast that book hit the floor.
Now it's getting late. Yes, sir.
Mark, in my 5-minute perusing of the T's and C's, there's nothing in their terms and conditions that prevent a user or a seller from discussing their experiences, positive or negative, on another platform.
Oh, here. Let's hit up Beckerman really quick. We haven't been doing a good job with the chat. Beckerman's last question. Very last question. Your timeline needs more explanation. Black Flag didn't show until right before, but these guys were already divided. So
they knew with Black Flags. It ain't a secret, man. They were talking to those people before the con, which is par for the course. People know shop owners. They talk in advance, just like we would.
They probably do have all the shop owners.
It's not a probably. They do.
That's where. So man. That helps add context to what Rob was saying earlier about the pre-communication between exhibitors that weren't there potentially.
Yeah, it's just.
Potentially.
This probably happens at every cons, and even with books that most of the time no one cares about. It just happened out in front for the first time in such a blatant way that it caused ripples.
Right.
There's nothing new.
But yeah, like we want to speak the timeline. I think Sarah and I were walking around, and we randomly got into the Black Flag line because we saw a handful of people there, and we're like, okay, you could see the ASM 300 Virgin variant homage up there. I'm like, that's pretty dope. Maybe grab a couple of those. And then somebody else in line shows me the Facebook post from the night before. So I'm looking at a iPhone from 2 feet away at this. I'm like, yeah, I'm not leaving this line. I've got to find out more about this, and we got to do this.
To Joseph's question, yes, he absolutely did. He 100% straight up said those people you saw going to the front of the line and buying mass amounts of the specific book that they all knew about was going to be there, that they all previously decided that this is going to be the pump and dump book of the con. They all went to go pick them those. Like, they didn't say that. That's obviously what happened. I mean, this is the practice. This is the practice that gets everybody talking and up in arms about the practices of the whatnot sellers. They decided on that one. They went there, they got it, and right in front of everybody. And then Black Flag tried to backpedal. Oh, no, they bought them ahead of time. But I thought they didn't know ahead of time. I mean, it's just they knew about it. They talked about it. There's nothing new about that happening. It just happened in front of people.
Andy, what do you think is the limit that people should get? And do you think influencers should be in their own line like Black Flag wants to do this weekend?
Segregation's never a good thing.
So,
Steve.
No.
You don't think so? What do you think the limit should be per book per customer?
I like the 2 per person. That's kind of been the status quo of C2E2 because that's the whole reason why my wife was waiting in line with me, because we thought we were going to try to get 4 and kind of divide and conquer a little bit. And
That's a good idea.
But I mean, like to add to that timeline, they showed up 9:30ish, and sales started at like 9:42. Like 9:41, 9:42, 9:43 is sales started ahead of 10 o'clock. So there's a red flag.
Right.
And then they were sold out by 10:20 something. So they had about 45 minutes of sales. That's one of those false narratives that that has been carried forward by a number of different individuals or people because they might not know better. It didn't sell out in 15 minutes. It didn't sell out in 10 minutes. It didn't sell out in 5 minutes. There were a full 40 some odd minutes worth of sales, almost an hour. And when the bulk of that first 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people went, the bulk of everybody behind that were all buying similar amounts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Because they kept you.
Do you feel like it was rigged? Do you feel
no,
like
they didn't cap until they got back around to chip.
But do you feel like it was rigged from the beginning?
Yes.
He never said otherwise.
Okay.
I think Black Flag had ideas and plans that very few people knew about. And like when several people were done and gone and we were buying and walking away, there was a whole slew of a line wrapped all the way around before it even got the chip that they all went through with no problem. And then somebody before chip asked for an astronomical amount of copies, and then they magically found a box underneath the table that didn't get picked up.
Do you know who that person was?
Is that magic number 125?
I don't know. Chip didn't tell me. Chip didn't give me a lot of details. But what I'm starting to put together is that box that they found in front of Chip was probably a potential a pre-buy that didn't get picked up.
That's what they said it was. He said they stole from this was the Black Flag said they had to steal from another retailer's purchase.
Is what Baker says, who was in the line.
So they grabbed a bunch out of there to throw in that box to sell that guy an astronomical amount of copies. And then it was shortly within that to where Chip is, maybe 1 or 2 people is when they talked about raising the price to $100. And Chip, like, well, I've been eyeing that 9.8 for 500. And the guys, like, whether it's Chip or somebody just in front of them, there was the price up to 700, and they
boss wanted to raise
shit.
it.
And then the funny thing is, when they sold out on Friday, come back Saturday, there were copies available still, but only if you bought $100 worth of other variants, you can get in a giveaway.
Yeah, somebody's in the back stapling new acetates on.
Because they say that it was limited to 750 copies, but who actually knows?
If you make them yourself, how you?
I mean, they're real easy to make, right?
They could have very well sold 750 copies.
Track just showed.
What Black Flag needs to learn is what every drug dealer knows: is that you take your money up here and you go around back and go pick up your inventory from another party. Then you don't have those optics.
You're not wrong.
Get tied to the crime.
You're not. You're dead freaking on right there. As bad as that might sound.
I asked them when the owner was doing that video. I asked him why. Oh, after the video was out, I posted a comment on his Facebook page. Said, "Why did you raise the price?" The only comment he says it was a last minute decision. That was it.
Yeah. Andy, does it bother you that you were not let in on the hustle?
So it's not.
That's a
wait,
valid question, man.
it's
You're
not that
laughing.
it's not that I wasn't let in, or maybe I don't know. No, I can't answer that question, but I can tell you that I'm not going to lose sleep over where we're at now and what happened. It's a comic book. I mean, I'm
I
more
don't think he's
worried
talking
about.
about a comic book. You think he's talking about the
Ah.
situation in hand where people are on whatnot still selling. Because as many people know about this, there's tenfold that don't know about it, that are just on that platform at home by themselves, don't follow this and that are going on whatnot, buying books. I'm still seeing people in comments every day, even today. What's going on with this book? What's the deal with this
Okay.
book? It seems like it's dominating our world, but it's brand new still for tons of people.
Yeah.
But
So
there's people out there that are in on the hustle that made bank on this because that's what they do, like you
Yep.
do. But here you are holding an $1,800 bag.
So you want to know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. It doesn't bother me one bit because you want to know why? You want to fucking bounce into my seat because I'm going to get on there and I'm going to help educate. I'm going to help narrate. I'm going to help paint that picture for the future because all it's doing is building my brand. And I'm not. And,
Andy. That answer just got me moister than an oyster. I love you, dude.
Jesus Christ, this is getting
just in case anybody's curious about deceptive business laws in the state of Illinois, bait and switch is one item, but there's also other items that comes to deceptive trade practices that as you go down this list, that depending upon how you want to interpret things, this book ticks many boxes.
Ooh.
In
Okay.
case you know, Rob's our resident legal
I deal with contracts for a living.
It started with copyright law, went into bird law for a little while. That was a weird time era. And now
The bird law was awesome.
Bird law was awesome.
How about panda law?
I want to ask a question.
There are no laws.
You don't have to say who they are, and you can choose not to answer it if you don't want to. What's the highest number of a person that you know outside of Nerdy Girl that someone was able to buy?
What do you mean by highest number?
Highest number of that single book that they were able to purchase. You don't have
Are
to
you
say
just fishing for him to say Skeff?
Hold on. This is perfect.
No.
It's a fish.
This
I'm just
is
saying
perfect.
overall.
This is perfect. You know why I can't answer this?
Because you don't know.
Because I couldn't tell what copies of what book were in the short boxes.
The short box, that was very specific.
From the distance, people were seeing. So here's the optics side of thing that Rob talks about. If I walk away with a short box full of comic books at the front of the line, the narrative that's being created by the people behind me is that I just bought the hottest book from that
125
booth.
copies.
How many of those books? And here's the food for thought. How many of the books in those boxes were the ASM Virgin reprint or the other?
Well, short box holds more than 125, and if you go back to the comment section under Jim's video and stuff, they weren't. Skeff and his wife weren't even arguing about the number in question. They were just trying to justify it by pointing out a lot of these were for a retailer friend, like we talked about earlier. How people do go to lines and pick up other people's books because a lot of these people know each other where we might not from the outside. Like Skeff might know this vendor you're talking to them, but yeah.
What I'm saying is from where I was standing at our portion in line is I couldn't tell how many copies of what variant they were buying in the box. Now, granted, that acetate.
So they didn't talk about it? No one talked about it? They never said, hey, I bought 25, 30.
You know how fast that line moves and people get out of the way?
But I know that you talked to people about it, though, Andy. I know that you were friends with them.
I immediately,
There's no way that someone didn't tell you how many they bought, Andy.
I immediately beelined to the Whatnot booth to talk about that giveaway. And at that point, people dispersed. People were dispersing because they were building shows and they were going live right away. Like,
they were trying to turn it into those dollar signs that they just pumped up. They had to dump them. That's how it works.
You said this wasn't going to be an attack in your badge.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was just asking the question. I was just
no. You're not accepting the answer, though.
Yeah, he answered the question twice.
That's my answer. Is my optics from where I was standing. I couldn't tell what books people were buying and how much they were buying of. All I saw was a short box full or a quarter full or half full or 3/4 full. I can't not verify what books were in there, to be honest with you. Just like when Black Flag put my books on the table, they were cover to cover and only the white backers were showing on either side. So, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't see.
There's some more optics in the comment section because I don't know if you know Becker, but he was there, like right there, like he's 4 feet from Skeff. Trust me, Andy, I had great view. 40 people behind you, and 2 minutes after the door opened.
So if that was him, then he's gonna have a better answer for you than I could.
Yeah,
because I was further away.
Oh, you need to eat, huh? Are you hungry?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, buddy.
My dog.
Now, Roby's
I
got
cheat
Well,
all the time.
Andy, I just want to say, I really appreciate you coming on here and giving your perception. I'm sorry for some people, whether they're on this panel or out in the regular world amongst everybody else, who wants to try to pin anything on you, whether they are not. I'm not saying that anybody here did, just whether it's perceived that way or not, the optics, you know what I mean? And thank you for coming on and discussing this, because I'm sure that there's a lot of, guilty by association
I mean,
BS
getting
that goes
tiring
on.
by now too. I'm sure.
So
I mean,
yeah,
that's
it's ready for the next nerd rage.
people always and will always be entitled to their opinions, but they're not entitled to their opinions being correct or right every time.
Yeah, you're
And
entitled
those
to
of
your
us-
opinion, not your own facts.
Yeah, and here in this group, in this family, not just on this panel, but everybody watching this on the replay and in the live chat is it's one family, one love. We are here having a healthy conversation, and we're talking about it. Just like I'm not here to be right or wrong. I'm here to be me, and I'm here to have
share your
fun.
experience.
100%. Andy deserves so much respect for
Thank
coming on
you.
here for an
Hey, my-
hour and 45 minutes.
My dad dropped a
basically
comment
get-
for you, Andy.
The longest
He's like
30-minute. It's the longest 30-minute live chat you've ever been on.
Right. And then
Um,
at 20 minutes in, he said he's got 30 to 60 minutes, and everyone
Right.
was upset I waited too long.
So I'm gonna go feed my dog. I'm gonna bounce, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 0400.
That's
0430. 0430 on the Legion of Comics.
Nice.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate you coming in, man.
Where this will not be the
Yeah.
topic of Hangout.
No, I
Well,
seriously
now-
do really appreciate you, Andy, because when I asked you to come on, you immediately said, I'm going to see if I can. And then, like, right away after that, you said you would. And I really, really appreciate that.
I'm gonna be 100% transparent here. Thursdays are my guilty Diablo 3 video game nights.
Like, this is a huge sacrifice for you. We appreciate it.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, I had a summer vacation, kind of took a break, but I need to get back into the usual Monday through Friday situation, which is my own channel, the community's channel. Like I always said, my channel is going to be that doorway into the community, and it's just going to kind of be one of those things. I need to get back to that and need to reconnect a little bit more, because summer kind of pulls us all apart to go do summer things,
Right. Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
I did have one more question for you, if you have time, just because you've been really successful and whatnot, and now even prior to all this, a lot of people have felt a certain type of way about whatnot, including people on this panel, and that's
Me.
entirely understandable. Yeah, everyone has their opinion, but because of this, I mean, do you feel like, well, I mean, we've seen it already, like this has definitely had an effect on some people leaving whatnot, because I guess people see them being guilty by association because of the sellers involved, some of the biggest on whatnot. Do you see that, like, have you seen that like as a negative, I guess, people viewing whatnot more negatively than before, or do you think that it's like once all this blows over, it's just going to be
the people that are separating themselves do have a negative feeling about that separation, and I would wholeheartedly invite them to share those feelings and talk about them, because it's okay to disagree. But people walking away should never feel negative about that. If people want to separate themselves or try something and do something differently, let's have a healthy conversation and be like, and let's support them to the fact of that, if they want to part themselves that way, that we're there to help them and not necessarily protect them, but that we're giving them the support and they can foster and grow in their own direction. And then eventually, that's the one thing, is we as people are never ever the same day to day, right? We learn, we grow, we do new things, we try new things, we start to realize that this might not be for me, or this is for me. I don't feel like people leaving is a negative thing. I think people need to have the conversations to make sure that it doesn't become a negative thing that they're leaving. Like what Rob said, the perspective or the ocular side of things and what people are seeing might be negative, but in the end, what they're doing is probably a healthy choice for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But it is definitely like the optics, which you guys have been talking about all night, because people see that, like, these are these sellers, they're all on whatnot, they're selling this book on whatnot. It's like, and so whatnot, it's who, as far as I can tell, had nothing to do with any of this whatsoever, but they've got, their Whatnot's name has been dragged through the mud, so to speak.
I had somebody
Yeah,
message
and-
me. I had somebody message me Saturday morning and tell me that I need to send them pictures of the storage booth behind the main stage because they wanted to make sure that it wasn't full of those acetates.
Right.
Oh
And I'm
my
like, you
God.
idiot. That's a locked door full of like audio, video. Like there's nothing. Like, I mean, I wish I was able to get pictures. Like it's stacked with with program and audio visual. Like nobody's putting books in storage back there. There was one, maybe two official Whatnot employees that had access to Whatnot books under lock and key under all times during the convention. They were pretty particular. Like they were making sure that people weren't not hanging out around in that area too, to a degree. Because everybody knows when you're at a convention and you start meeting up with people and then it groups, you're not really cognizant of where you're hanging out. It just happens. And then those little groups kind of migrate and move around. It's like people were sending some really odd, really interesting messages. And I got a lot of apologies actually after Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And I greatly appreciate that. But I don't think a lot of people that don't know me don't realize that, I might be a little miffed for 5 minutes, but like that shit slides right off my turtle shell, Panda.
I heard that.
I mean, like I got to take care of myself. I have my own professional career that's not known to other people in the community that I still work 55, 60 hours a week at, that I'm doing that. That's still my passion. That's still my thing.
Right.
And Whatnot and streaming and comics has been a hobby that's turned into something that I need to have an LLC to track taxes just so that I can make room for all the new comic books that are coming in. And I'm hopefully setting up something for the future that I could semi-retire to.
There you go.
Yeah, excellent.
Awesome. You guys have any other questions for him before he and all of us get out of here?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pop into
Oh, go
my Whatnot auction and bid on any of these? Any
I
interest?
would.
I'm just trying to get.
I want
some...
that Turok.
Yeah,
Everyone
everyone's
wants that
talking.
Turok.
Yeah.
That is
I
dope.
kind of want to download Whatnot again, but then I might get in trouble.
By who?
I'm going to download it just to come on there and support Drac.
My
Yeah.
girlfriend.
I told Drac.
yeah,
I
get
I
that.
made
I'm
promise.
telling you, someone's
Put it
gonna
down.
get that for a steal. I don't have that many followers, so
They-
I'll be
they
lucky
wanna
if I make
I
enough to
made
cover the
promises.
package
You
of
gotta hold
acetate.
on to those promises.
Yeah, I'm not going to end up winning it. I can guarantee you that.
It's not
I
a
don't.
blame.
I don't have the money to spend on it like that. Like I know it'll go for, but I wouldn't want to win it because I told Drac this firsthand. I hate that you're doing all Whatnot because I hate for them to get any piece of not just my income but his income, man.
How do you maintain that awesome beer?
That's understandable.
With an acetate comb, apparently.
Andy, I did have one last thing I wanted to say, man. I've always loved your content. Love anytime you open up the dojo and I'm able to hop on, man. I'm so grateful that you came on to say what you had to say. And earlier when I asked that question, it was definitely through that perspective of what Drac was saying with the perception of Whatnot now through the eyes of people. Because the name Whatnot has been dragged through the mud and everything like
Becoming
that now.
synonymous with unethical business practice.
And that's the reason why a lot of comic collectors, not newbies, but comic collectors, don't enjoy the Whatnot. You know what I mean? But man, I love you so much. I just wanted to say how much I love you and that that's it. Just I love
Great-
you. That's it.
great
That's
question,
facts
David.
right there.
Well, I appreciate that.
There was
and-
no
and-
question. My question was, how much love do you think I have for you? Which is just immense. Just immense.
That's the
A
question.
lot.
More than I can hold in my arms this evening.
Love.
Grow
More
a
than I can
beard.
hold in my arms this
That's
evening.
Joseph
showing love right there.
Joseph
So-
Osborne wants to know if Skev has any content planning in regards to the subject.
Skeff was actually live today, and I think he's doing a live stream on Sunday.
Is this just a live sales stream, or is he planning on
Whatnot
doing
sale, correct?
content
What-
on the subject?
That's a great question that I
Yeah.
cannot answer at this time because all I can do is look at everybody else. I can just look at the title at the moment. But Mark, that narrative of the people and their experiences with Whatnot. That's where I see opportunity on Whatnot. All the new people coming in that find me, I can help prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and yeah, oh, I agree, and I like you. I'm open with like man, I'm of the camp. Me personally, fuck Whatnot, but anybody else do what you want to do. And I still point out in chats that you are one of the trusted sellers. That if you use that platform, because you don't have to listen to me. Like my opinion is my own. Hopefully, you might see it and might make your own informed judgment versus just walking around like a blind man getting taken advantage of by some of those other sellers on there. But I put your name into comments whenever I'm in the discussion about it, as well as Corey, aka Do You Have Beans, who absolutely fucking hates me, but I still think he's a trusted seller.
Yeah, I can't speak to what Skeff is doing. I can speak to what I'm doing, and I see a lot of opportunities in the future for a lot of fun. God, I don't want to share my IP. I've got a lot of things written down and a lot of intellectual property that I'm working on that's outside of the box that I think
Put
is
it in the private chat. I'll share it.
Don't.
really
Yep.
fun. But let's just say that the app that is Whatnot is very underutilized for what it can be used for.
Oh, you're moving it over to porn.
I agree.
Nice.
OnlyFans. Oh.
Bid $5 to
Oh,
watch
my
me
bad.
touch my toes.
My mic was supposed to be off. My mic
want
was
this-
supposed to be off. Only
You want
Slabs
this-
is actually happening.
You want this sock taken off? That'll be $20.
Oh my goodness.
Berg, I shaved my beard off once for charity. I'm not saying it's never going to happen again.
Don't do it. I know it's charity. Give them more money. Don't shave your beard. Don't shave the beard, man.
We'll figure it out.
Well, does anyone have any other questions for Andy before we get out of here?
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah.
I think we've asked him a billion questions, and like we all said, we all appreciate you for joining us and
Only one piece you probably put in the other
and
box.
getting grilled by me, Mark, everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel. We appreciate you being as transparent as you were tonight. Seriously,
It's
thank
not getting grilled if you don't have answers.
True.
I've only sold on there one time. No, I have been in other streams to look at stuff and possibly buy stuff, but I've actually only bought one time as well.
I have a problem with buying on Whatnot.
I think we all have a problem with buying comic books, right? Don't we all? Isn't
Yeah.
that why we're in this hobby?
Yeah, but Whatnot is very dangerous when you're buying comic books.
C2E2 and bought
It
it.
is
He's
so
the only
easy.
person
I think it'd be cool if you and
Yeah,
Chip.
that, and you can also be like Nick, who accidentally bids on a book just
Right.
because he accidentally
You
hit
thought
the
it was a
button
giveaway.
and wins it.
Well, I am looking forward to your CGC video and any other
Yeah.
things. And like I said, I really appreciate you for coming on here and talking about it. And you're like the only person that I've seen who is actively talking about it. Not saying it's bad or good outside of Jim Mint, but it feels like everyone after the Jim Mint video is kind of straying away from it, which I understand they don't want any more hate. And they're probably done talking about it as it is. But I do appreciate you coming on almost a week later on the stream and talking for 2 hours.
Oh God, it is a week later. Yeah, this time last week we were at a birthday party. Holy moly, maybe.
Oh,
Well, with that, I'm going to head up all the sponsors, and we're going to get out of here. And I appreciate Drac, Comic Viking, Panda, Mark, obviously Andy, and everyone else that joined us before for coming on here. Let me hit up all these sponsors, and we'll get out of here. Thank you to the 616comics.com for sponsoring the channel and the monthly Burke Box. If you guys ever need any exclusives, any variants, check out the 616comics.com.
There.
What? What is that?
That meant to be muted. Sorry.
What you got there? Thank you to the channel members. Everyone in the family tiers entered to win that monthly Burke Box sponsored by the 616comics.com. A link to everyone in the family tier and friend tier, a link to their Instagram and YouTube is in the description of all of my videos. Subscribe to them, follow them, and support this amazing community. And thank you to everyone in the supporter tier as well. Thanks, everyone, for hanging
hit
out.
him with the StreamYard.
We had a great time.
Hit him with
No,
the
I'm not-
StreamYard. Hit him with the StreamYard, son. I told you,
Fine, I'll
I'm
do
full
it.
support
If you're
now. I'm
thinking of-
not. I'm
If
not.
you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, consider StreamYard. Hit my affiliate link below. Just finally surpassed enough money from affiliate signups to finally get paid back. So I appreciate anyone who hits that link and decides to use StreamYard. And as always, go Cats!
Cowabunga. It's Morphin time.